Well, okie dokie there, people. It's time for your Smackdown review. Oh my god, at least it didn't have a Bobby Lashley cringe interview. I could at least stand here and say that. I'm still reeling from that. I feel like making an individual video based on that, but I mean, what more could really be said? I mean, it was cringe, it was bad, but still reeling several days after that flat-out disaster. So we started off with a Page promo. We're going to get Money in the Bank matches, qualifying matches. We kind of expected this, at least. Wow. So we're going to get, okay, it looks like the women are going to be piled up into one Money in the Bank. And, it's the same. It's actually going to be 2 ladder matches now. So now they're going to combine them. Thank God for that. Thank God for only 2 ladder matches on the show. At least we're staying with 2. Got scared there for a minute. Thought it was going to be 3. It was, and I thought maybe they were going to go with 4. Because it's not like this would be totally out of line. I mean, we did have a pay-per-view in TNA where every match was a cage match, and it was just, it was madness, really, after every match, oh my goodness. But, okay, good. At least there's 2. I could see why there's 2. I'm saying, I don't really want to see the women's one, but then again, I don't know why I don't really want to, because the women's Royal Rumble is actually better than the men's one. But whatever. Anyway, so, nothing significant here. The Miz defeats Jeff Hardy for the, to get into the Money in the Bank, which was surprising, by the way. I didn't expect this, but I guess, Jeff is just going to defend his U.S. title. They're not going to throw him right away into the world title picture, which I don't even really get. Oh, you might as well put him in there. What would be wrong with having AJ and Jeff Hardy feuding over the title? Turn AJ heel. He's not doing so well as a babyface. You might as well put him up against babyface Jeff Hardy. Why not make Jeff Hardy the biggest babyface there is? It worked before in the past. People seem to get behind him when they were doing the CM Punk feud, so why not go back to that again? But that was a bit of that was a better time for WWE anyway. More quality coming out of them at that time. So I don't see why we can't get that once again. What would be wrong with having Jeff Hardy as your top baby face on SmackDown? It would be way more interesting than having 1,000 Nakamura and Murphy matches. I can tell you that right now. So the only thing is here, it's okay, so Brad, you like The Miz, right? So are you annoyed here because Jeff Hardy lost the match? I'm not okay. I don't care if The Miz wins. Fine. It's the way Howie won. Jeff Hardy goes up to the top, hits a swanton bomb. You'd say, all right, beautiful. Jeff Hardy's going to get the win. He goes in for the cover. Somehow, some way, Miz no-sells it. Rolls him into a crucifix. Gets the pin right there. And I'm not saying I've never seen this before. I've seen it done before. But this is completely ridiculous. Jeff Hardy, full contact on the swanton bomb. Hits it. Miz rolls him over. I mean, if you ever want to show that wrestling is fake, why am I surprised by this? We're talking about a current situation here where Seth Rollins is hitting a superplex. A move that when Cowboy Bob Orton hit it, it was a match ender. When Barry Windham hit that shit in the NWA, it was game over. When, God forbid I say his name, Chris Benoit hit the superplex, it was like cataclysmic. It was earth-shattering. Like, they would be selling it. Benoit could barely go for the pin. Also these high-impact moves from the top rope. The RVD would hit a frog splash. And I always said at least the guy had the courtesy of always selling the frog splash. Something that not even Eddie Guerrero did. He would sell the idea that move was such a 5-star move that he'd have to hold his stomach because he was hitting with such high impact, and it made sense. Here we go, and I know that this is not Jeff Hardy's fault. I know this is not The Miz. You know, these are, you know, your new age agents out there. They're you know, calling this. I mean, who is okaying this finish right here? I mean, this is one of the most ridiculous finishes ever. Why couldn't just Jeff Hardy miss the swanton? The Miz gets the pin with his feet on the ropes. What would be so bad about that? I mean, you know, and right there off the top of my head, I'm giving you a better finish that makes more sense and would play into the Miz's character, not some ridiculous no-selling bullshit. So they're right there, you know, that they're making the Miz wrestle this style that he once even cut promos on like 2 years ago when he was, you know, cutting a promo on Ziggler, you know, about doing high spots in the match. You know, he said that, you know, he's not liked because he doesn't do this flippy-dippy nonsense. And they're making him do this no-selling bullshit. And this finish, it bothered me. I'm like, what? This really shows if WWE would tell them to go out there and actually do this on broadcast television, it just shows that they've completely lost all sense of being, how to book a match. I mean, this is flat out ridiculous to have something like this. Nakamura and Murphy cut a promo. It's more of, you know, no speak English. I'll say this, you know, finally Renee Young said, you know, we know that you speak English, and she, you know, and he said, you know, he was just kind of playing around with her. This Nakamura and Murphy is slightly better than babyface Nakamura and Murphy, but he's still, you know, I'm still not feeling it. I'm still not ready to jump on board. I'm not even halfway down the track. I'm not even at the station on the Nakamura and Murphy train. That train, I think, is already pulled out of the station. It's already halfway across the country for me. I mean, I don't think I'll ever get behind the guy because it's just, he's not what I'm looking for in the ring. It's just, it's not there. And still, you know, I'm talking like this. I'm sorry. I get the gimmick, you know, that they're trying to do there, if you could even call it that, with not speaking English, but they keep on playing off the same joke. I mean, you know, what am I supposed to... Tell me, what am I supposed to like about Nakamura and Murphy other than him being a stiff worker and doing weird motions? Well, what am I supposed to like about this guy? Because all I hear is, oh, I'm a dumbass for not liking him. That's all I'm hearing. I don't hear anything outside of that. I'm not really understanding what I'm really missing out by not being a Nakamura and Murphy fan. I'm watching his matches. I'm reviewing him right here on this channel. Still not getting what you know, why not being a Nakamura and Murphy fan is a bad thing, because I don't really see why it's a good thing, to be quite honest. Carmela cut a promo. You know, she's there. She beats Charlotte. She doesn't even show up this week. Charlotte's going to have a match later on tonight. They don't even have her show up or anything. No run-in, no nothing to help out the Iconics, you know. So she says that she's going to have a celebration in London. So we're going to be in London next week. We're going to get the most annoying chants probably. You know, first we have to deal with Long Island. Now we have to deal with London. Holy cow. Holy motherfucking shit. I mean, I don't know what to tell you here. I mean, London, man. This is what I said. It's the UK fans' influence. Sorry to people in the UK, but the wrestling fans, man, you guys have really infected the States with this nonsense. All the heckling chants, doing the wave, and all this other annoying crap that has greatly affected the product and the direction of it. Anyway, Carmela's not even on the show, just a selfie promo. Okay. Then we get Charlotte. So it's the very next segment. Charlotte defeats Peyton Royce. Peyton Royce, man. She's like hitting a knee, and it's the sloppiest. You know what's funny? I'm looking at Wade Keller's review And I'm sorry, I know some people when I bring up Wade Keller, they're like, who gives a shit about Wade Keller? People do, because people pay for the PW Torch, you know, the VIP membership. So people really care. Wade Keller's their main guy. People want to hear what he's got to say. And Wade Keller, man, I mean, he's attacking Charlotte. And I agree, Charlotte has really, you know, he's talking about her offense in the ring. The offense is not the problem. The problem is the character. Ever since they moved her from Raw as a heel to a baby face on SmackDown, it's been a total shit show. They completely forgot about what made Charlotte work as a presence on screen. Peyton Royce is the one who deserves the criticism. To have the promo on the way down to the ring, more annoying crap, more annoying, you know, little insults and just sounding all childish. And the offense in the ring, I mean, I know I don't know how to wrestle, but my God, I mean, even I think I can make a kick look better than that. I mean, like, wow. I mean, sloppy in-ring work, bad on promos, amateurish, the whole way around. I mean, if you want to talk about the complete package of not being ready for a main roster or primetime television, you take a look at the Iconics. You take a look at Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. That's exactly how, you know, who does not deserve to be here at all. I mean, I'll say, when I take a look at them, I'll even say I'd rather have Balor, I'd rather have Zayn, I'd rather have anybody else but them. Really, actually, it makes me appreciate Balor's work in the ring a bit more. I'm like, you know, the guy doesn't sell worth a lick, but at least he can make the moves look like at least decent. Holy man, these Iconics, they're horrible. How are people fans of them? I mean, for God's sakes, there's so many defenders of theirs online. You know, here's the thing, guys. Forget about them being attractive and all that. They're being sold to us as wrestlers, right? Because we're past that era. If this was the, you know, 2001, I'd be like, hey, well, by all means, bring them on in. But now they're not about that. It's not about them being sexy. It's not about them showing off and all that. What is it about nowadays? It's all about being great wrestlers, right? So they're not good wrestlers. It's all about the promos. It's all about the in-ring work, right? We got to start respecting their in-ring. Well, okay, I can't respect this in-ring work because it's fucking horrible. I'm just saying, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. This is bad. They're not doing well. It doesn't look good. The presentation during the matches is just, it's just flat out awful. They're bad. So Charlotte gets the win here. I mean, you know, it just felt empty. You know, she lost, you know, at Backlash in a very unfulfilling match, a very disappointing match, a match that just ended out of nowhere. You know, a heel gets a clean finish over. You know, the thing is about Charlotte, she should have been unbeatable from on Raw. I mean, they went so far as to take their beloved Asuka, who all the marks adore so much, and they had her get beat. So I thought right then and there, I was like, oh, it doesn't matter about Carmela. They're gonna have Charlotte just rocket to the top. She just loses it just like that. I said this, I've been saying it for years on this channel. This company doesn't know a thing about momentum. Back in the day, you know, and if someone were to lose, like I said, if Stone Cold were to win the title, they would make a way to kind of make you forget that he actually lost the match, because he get his heat back so fast. In a way, it's all about the writing on the show. And I said, as long as we have the current creative team, we're not going to get heat. We're not going to get people, you know, looking good even though they lose. Like, they can't figure out how to make people lose without them looking like flat-out losers. But Charlotte looked like a loser at Backlash. I mean, there was no way. They didn't even mask it in any way with having her cheat or anything like that. Cesaro defeated Xavier Woods earlier in the night. They filled up Sheamus's bag with pancakes. This joke is getting beyond old. They started throwing pancakes at Sheamus during the match. It's like they don't even realize that, like, nobody but the biggest of nerds are probably laughing at this. I mean, the pancake joke, I mean, it's just amazing how, like, this is a joke that wasn't even funny, that's not even, like, garnering any extra attention, yet they'll still keep repeating this joke and everything, like they think it's funny, like they think that people are entertained by it. You know, instead of getting creative and doing something genuinely funny, it's always just like a one-note joke, and they just kind of just see how they could write it into the show in different ways. Not really caring about who it's torturing. Maybe McMahon thinks it's funny. Maybe somebody on the writing team thinks it's funny, you know, these jokes, and they want to see them, how they could kind of write it, you know, like a little challenge to themselves, whatever the case may be. But failing to completely realize that no one is finding this funny and no one is laughing. I mean, you know, you're talking about crowds that start filing out, you know, like 30 minutes before a pay-per-view is about to end. It doesn't even matter how big the marks are. Even the marks have limits. You know, I was looking. Like, you know, I forgot to mention this during my Backlash review. So a little sidebar here for a minute. Little addition to the Backlash review here. I looked at the minute that Roman Reigns pinned Samoa Joe. Like, they cut to the crowd and they just show people getting up. I was like, what's up with the camera crew? Are they still in Saudi Arabia? I mean, why would you shoot that? You're actually shooting the people getting up out of their seats? Like, there was a time, like, ever since the PG era started, whatever it was, they started cutting to the crowd more, the facial expressions more of the crowd, because now nobody really has signs like they used to. The art of making a good sign has died. You know, they started taking away half of them anyway, so people probably said, I'm not even going to bother with them. So you don't really see that many signs in the crowd like you used to. So, you know, like I said, this crowd's now just resorted to acting like children and everything. So, but they shoot the crowd just walking out during the match, and I found that to be, you know, not even really funny like you might think I would say, but quite depressing. Cesaro gets the win here. So the Bludgeon Brothers, they have a bunch of action figures laid out. They tried to make it scary. I just kind of said this is flat out goofy with the toys. We just remembered the Bludgeon Brothers haven't been there for a few weeks. You know, the Bludgeon Brothers should be furious that they, you know, that Rowan got pinned due to a distraction by Naomi. I mean, they just a runaway train of, you know, they should have thrown Naomi out of the way and attacked the, you know, the Uso brother. You know, they kept making this mistake over and over every single week with them. They were making them look soft. They were making them look like they actually had sympathy in them. Harper was calling off Rowan. Now they're playing with action figures in the back. I know it's supposed to be like, oh, they're weird and scary, but this just came off as corny and cheesy. I mean, like, they can't even figure out how to book these guys right. I mean, they got to put, like, action figures in with the Bludgeon Brothers. This is how clueless they are. Not thinking that, you think maybe the people at home might think this is a little goofy. No one says that. No one, obviously no one says it, because then it would have awoken something in that person's mind to say, well, you know, you're right. Let's just forget about this and maybe just cut a normal, tough promo for these guys. And not only that, they're not even on the show. I mean, like, you've got all these guys and they're not even on the show. Randy Orton's not on this show at all. Like, where's Orton, right? You know, we lost to Jeff. Does he got anything to say about that? Nope. Mandy Rose defeated Becky Lynch. You know, she's not even she's not allowed to come out there with Sonya Deville. Paige said she has to stay back there. Just like, I don't know. She just like plowed through Becky Lynch here. I know the thing is, but they seem like they're not really committed to Becky Lynch, right? Wasn't Becky Lynch the first SmackDown Women's Champion? Now she's like a distant memory. There's no focus on her even. Rusev beat Daniel Bryan in the main event, and this just huh? Like, okay, you know, so I talked about Rusev, and I say that this is a guy that's, like, lost, like, all his mojo. He's lost everything that could make him be taken seriously, right? Remember the feud with Cena, WrestleMania, coming in at the tank? We've talked about it 1,000 times. Rusev now is all about Rusev Day. You know, it's a total mess, right? Singing, Rusev Day, T-shirts. What happened to the whole thing with Lana, right? Remember last week, Lana shows up, says, you know, I think you're being held back, and he's still out there with Aiden English. Lana's nowhere to be seen. What happened there? You know, like again, we're talking about no continuity. They completely forgot about last week. Okay, we're not even going to get into that. We should be used to that by now, right? We've seen this time and time again. Remember, Goldust was gonna have an apprentice around WrestleMania last year. That nothing ever came of that. Okay, so we've got Rusev pinning Daniel Bryan clean, and you know, Big Cass is nowhere to be seen. Oh, but he's on WWE.com with an exclusive interview after the show goes off the air. Unless you're the biggest mark, you ain't gonna go on to WWE.com and watch. First of all, you could barely even make it through the show. Well, who's gonna watch the extra shit online? Is anybody gonna really be in the mood for that? Now, I'll give you this. Talking Smack was entertaining. You know, they did stuff that was actually better than what they were doing on SmackDown, but that's a different story. These are just promos. We've had enough promos. After listening to the Iconics, not exactly in the mood for any more promos. So, you know, they chalked it up to, I think Corey Graves might have said, oh, this is due to the attack last night. Okay, so Daniel Bryan's not even selling anything, no injuries or anything, nothing's bandaged up. So Daniel Bryan just gets the kick. He can beat Big Cass, the 7-foot guy, making him tap out. Rusev, who's been on, loses every single match he's in, gets pinned in 10 seconds by Randy Orton. And here he is losing. The big comeback kid, right? He's on such a big comeback that even Big Cass, who just returned from a big injury, this big 7-foot guy who they want to push, that Vince McMahon adores, and I said I think he's good too. A lot of people seem to disagree, but whatever the case may be, right? Not even he could stand up to Daniel Bryan. So here we go. And I'll say, okay, a guy that looks like Rusev beating Daniel Bryan, this is not a problem. But the way you're selling to me is that Daniel Bryan's a way bigger star than Rusev. So him just losing here, it looks really bad. Because Rusev's a jobber, really. In all essence, he is. He doesn't really win. He hasn't won any titles. He hasn't done anything. They haven't made... he just has this gimmick, this goofy gimmick. So the goofball with the singing guy, that he gets the win over Daniel Bryan, who's supposed to be the big comeback kid. I'm just sitting here saying, this makes Bryan look horrible. Because it would be different if they built up Rusev again, started doing what they were doing with him back in 2014, 2015, going on a rampage, beating everybody before him, making everybody pass out, everybody tap out in the accolade, but they're not doing that anymore. So, you can't just have him beat Daniel Bryan flat out, and that's it. That's the Money in the Bank qualifier. And how much better would it have been if Big Cass just cost him the match straight up? Instead of giving this excuse, because he's not even selling anything during the match. He's not selling a body part. Oh, I can see if maybe he limped to the ring. He was all bandaged up and everything. And maybe Rusev might have exploited a body part. They didn't do that. There was no psychology or anything in this match. So there you go. Bryan just losing clean for no reason with a little excuse thrown in. That's supposed to be his out. That ain't no out. That's bullshit right there. So there you go. There's your show, right? I mean, even when they try to have storylines, they fuck it up so bad. And, then they explain themselves off the air. big cast. Oh, Rusev should thank me for that. No one even saw that promo. I mean, this product. I mean, you couldn't write a worse show. How are these people paid money to write a show so poor? I have to say it, guys. How could anybody be making money off of a show this low and devoid of quality? It's so poorly written. There's so many shows on TV with quality writing. The past, the present, even shows to come in the future. Even with political nonsense in certain shows and everything, you could at least see consistent characters. There's an art to writing shows. Even movies with messages we might not even agree with or whatever, we could at least say there's a certain style to making these films. And there's nothing here. There's no style. There's no substance. There's no storytelling. There's no characters. It's all bad. And it's not even just bad. It's really bad. It's horrible. You look at this show and you think about it. You feel empty. Like, there's nothing here. There's nothing here about this show that was even tolerable about it. I'm watching the Iconics and my ears are literally bleeding. I'm feeling like droplets coming out my ears. There's blood here. I mean, my God. Why should I have to worry about that? Why are they presenting me just because marks enjoy these girls? Just because a small section of the wrestling population, the IWC, enjoys the Iconics? Aren't they embarrassed putting these girls out? Look how pathetic. You look at that knee. That should be on the highlight reel of shame for Peyton Royce. I mean, really, like, I don't care what she's hot. Come on already. Forget about that. Like I said, it's not even, this ain't a bra and panties match. This ain't a swimsuit combat. This is a wrestling match. So now it's all focused on who's the best wrestler. And you want to talk about best wrestler. I mean, what are they even doing there then? I mean, there's got to be girls in NXT that are even like 10 times better than this. Give me blue pants or some shit. I fucking come on with this already. These Iconics. And you don't even have the decency to show Carmela. You're seeing I'm seeing Ty Dillinger. Stop with the selfie promos, for God's sakes. Stop with these I mean, it looks completely ridiculous. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar company. At times, sometimes Vince McMahon cracks $1 billion even. And with all this state-of-the-art production equipment, we just saw it with Braun Strowman just a few months back going into the production truck. All that state-of-the-art equipment that most people couldn't even dream of affording. I mean, they got a production truck a mile long. I mean, they've got stuff in there up to date, software and hardware, and what are they using to? You look at the production quality and the lighting of WWE. It's perfect. It's excellent. They've got every light right. The LED is super bright. The video presentation, the Titantron, the theme music, the audio, it's all just spot on, right? Kevin Dunn makes sure that everything, all the knots are tied. There's no loose ends. It's very rare, even when they have a hiccup, production-wise. It's very rare. And you could see that versus like TNA, like the quality and everything and the lighting. It's so much better coming from WWE. They're all about production, and many indie fans would always say that to WWE fans. They'd always say, "Oh, the ROH is better. You just like the production values." I'm sorry, but production values go a long way. You can clearly see that, whether it's YouTube, movies. There's a reason why most people go to see blockbuster films and not indie films, because people enjoy a good visual and audio presentation, right? So, perfectly understandable. And the whole point of me going through this whole tirade is you're telling these people to sometimes, they need to even wipe the lens on certain on some of these videos that they're shooting, because they're not even clear. Like, I'm remembering Samoa Joe's video. they need to wipe the damn lens, like, with their shirt, you know, wipe it sometimes, because it looks like the lens is smudged. They're cutting these videos with their phone, sending it in probably to Kevin Dunn, and they're just, you know, shooting it right out to you. It looks flat out awful. To present it, some people don't even know. They got the shakes with the hand. They're not even holding the camera straight. I mean, my God. I don't know. I'm saying, like, well, sometimes when I shoot videos on my phone, like in my car, and I even say that I think I hold the camera better. I think I angle it even better. I mean, and I don't make it so obvious. I'm not holding it out here where my arm is like so much in the frame. Like, people gotta, you know, thing is, if you don't even know how to hold the phone properly to cut a video, you should definitely not even be cutting a promo on the wrestling program in primetime television. Anyway, guys, on that note, that's been your Smackdown review. Flat out awful. Horrible, terrible, bad. Was it better than Raw? I don't know. I mean, you've still got that Lashley promo on Raw. I don't know what to tell you. You have the Iconics on SmackDown, and you have the Lashley sit-down on Raw. I'd say it's about a tie there, motherfuckers. Anyway, here's your SmackDown review, and this has been your YWC champ. Signing out.